American car buyers just got scammed. The industry took a $29,000 sedan, bolted a battery underneath, called it a hybrid, and jacked the price $4,000. Then Toyota killed the gas Camry so you could never say no. Honda buried its Accord hybrid behind the most expensive trim on the lot. The fuel savings they promised? Edmunds says 8 years to break even. The average American trades in after 5. So was the hybrid revolution built to save you money or to squeeze more out of every sale? Make sure you subscribe because I started this channel for one reason: to share what dealerships and car makers don't want you to hear. With your support, I can keep making these videos. Now, let's get into it. The auto industry has been selling you the hybrid dream for over 20 years now. Better gas mileage, fewer trips to the pump, lower cost of ownership over time. Every single car commercial from Detroit to Tokyo has hammered that same message into your head since the first Prius showed up at a dealership. Save the planet, save your wallet, everybody wins. And American buyers listened. Families who could barely keep up with their car payments listened. First-time buyers trying to stretch a tight budget listened. Commuters watching gas prices bounce between $3 and $4 and $5 a gallon listened. They all bought the pitch, and the sales numbers prove it. Hybrid market share in the United States just hit a record 14.1% in the first quarter of 2026. Cox Automotive reported that number, and in some months, toward the end of 2025, hybrids accounted for nearly 1 out of every 5 vehicles sold in the country. That is a staggering pace for a technology that barely cracked 5% market share just 3 years earlier. Toyota cannot build RAV4 hybrids fast enough. Ford set a company record with 228,000 hybrid sales in 2025 alone. Hyundai's hybrid volume jumped 71% in a single year. Dealerships across the country are moving hybrid inventory faster than any other powertrain on the lot. The auto industry is celebrating like it cracked the code, like it finally found the product the American buyer actually wants. But here is what nobody sitting in a corner office wants you to think about. Just because something is selling does not mean the buyer is getting a good deal. Bottled water sells for $5 at a concert. That does not mean it is worth $5. And the hybrid math, the actual real-world dollars and cents, tells a completely different story than the one printed on the window sticker. But keep watching, because the numbers I am about to show you make that window sticker look like a work of fiction. Let's start with the price tag and work backward, model by model, because the details matter here. The 2025 Toyota RAV4 in its standard gas-powered form started at $29,250. Solid, reliable, practical. The RAV4 hybrid starts at $32,300. That is roughly $3,000 more for the same vehicle with a battery and an electric motor bolted underneath it. Now, Toyota and its dealers will tell you the hybrid comes with all-wheel drive standard, so the fair comparison is really about $1,600 once you match the gas model to AWD. Fine. $1,600 is not nothing, but it is manageable. That is one model where the premium is at least in the ballpark. Now look at the Honda CR-V. The gas version starts around $31,000. The cheapest CR-V hybrid? $36,000. That is a $5,000 jump. And Honda does not even offer the hybrid in the base trim. You have to step up to the Sport Hybrid or higher, which means you are also paying for a bigger touchscreen, upgraded upholstery, and a list of features you never asked for just to get the fuel savings. The Accord is the same setup. Gas model starts at $29,590. The Hybrid Sport starts at $33,795. That is $4,205 more for a sedan that gets you maybe 10 to 12 extra miles per gallon on paper. The Hyundai Sonata Hybrid carries a premium of about $3,250 over the gas version. Across the market, I see cars pegged the average starting price of a hybrid at $34,404 in 2026, and that number has been climbing every single year. But the sticker price is only half the story. The payback math is where this whole thing falls apart. A Honda engineer told Capital One's research team that the annual fuel savings between a gas CR-V and the hybrid version comes out to roughly $400 a year. $400 against a $5,000 price premium. That is over 12 years before you break even, if gas prices hold steady. And they never hold steady. The Accord hybrid? The weekly driver calculated that the $546 a year in fuel savings would take about 8 years to recover the $4,205 premium. The RAV4 hybrid breaks even somewhere around 75,000 to 80,000 miles, depending on your driving habits, which for the average American works out to about 6 years. And here is the number that puts all of this into perspective. The average American trades in their car every 5 to 6 years, meaning the fuel savings the dealer promised you when you signed that loan, you will literally never see them. You will hand the keys back before the math ever tips in your favor. And this is not me doing kitchen table napkin calculations. Edmunds, one of the most respected automotive research firms in the country, published an analysis that should have been front-page news. Their conclusion was that hybrids, EVs, and even diesels do not save consumers money compared to traditional gas vehicles. The premium, they said, takes a long time for buyers to recover in fuel savings, often longer than they plan to own the car. That is Edmunds, the people whose entire job is telling you whether a car is worth buying, and they could not justify the hybrid price tag for most models at current gas prices. At $3 a gallon, the break-even period on most hybrids stretches past 7 or 8 years, well beyond the average ownership window. Even at $4, which is close to where gas spiked in May of 2026 when things got tense in the Middle East, you are still looking at 4 to 5 years before you see a dime of return. And here's the part nobody in a dealer finance office wants you to think about. The moment gas drops back below $3.50, which it always does, the savings argument does not just weaken, it collapses entirely. You are paying a guaranteed premium today for savings that depend entirely on gas prices staying high forever. And when in American history have gas prices ever stayed high forever? If you think that is bad, wait until you hear what Toyota did next. Because the premium you just heard about, at least with that, you still had a choice. You could walk into a dealership, look at the hybrid sticker, do the math, and say, no thanks, give me the gas version. That option is disappearing. In 2025, Toyota eliminated the gas-powered Camry from its entire lineup. Gone. Every single Camry sold in America from that point forward is a hybrid. No exceptions, no alternatives. The previous gas Camry LE started at $26,420. The new hybrid-only Camry LE starts at $28,400. That is a $2,000 increase at the floor level, and you, as the buyer, lost the ability to walk away from it. You cannot ask for the old one. It does not exist. Then, in 2026, Toyota did the exact same thing with the RAV4. The gas RAV4 LE had been $29,800. The new hybrid-only version starts at $31,900. CarScoops reported that as a $2,100 jump at the base, and well-equipped trims climbed even higher. CarsDirt flagged certain configurations with price increases over $3,800, calling some of them an 11% hike. And Toyota is not even the worst offender when it comes to eliminating your options. Honda takes a different approach that achieves the same result. Instead of killing the gas model outright, they restrict the hybrid Accord and the hybrid CR-V to the most expensive trim levels only. Edmunds pointed that out specifically. If you want a hybrid Honda, you are buying the loaded version with the premium sound system and the leather interior and the bigger wheels, whether you wanted those features or not. You came in looking for fuel savings. You are leaving with a $40,000 sedan. That is not offering a choice. That is removing one and pretending the remaining option is a favor. I think if you walked up to 100 people on the street and asked them whether they knew Toyota killed the regular Camry, maybe 5 would have any idea. And that silence is exactly how the automakers want it.
But here is the detail that everyone missed at the time. The price hike was just one piece of the trap. The real cost shows up years later, when the warranty runs out and the battery starts dying. Hybrid batteries do not last forever. They degrade over time, the same way the battery in your phone slowly loses its ability to hold a charge. Except replacing the one in your car does not cost you $40 at a kiosk. It costs thousands. A Toyota Prius battery replacement runs between $2,300 for a remanufactured unit on the low end and over $5,000 through a dealership with original parts. RepairPal puts the national average at roughly $5,250. A RAV4 hybrid battery? Toyota themselves quote $3,000 to $8,000, depending on the year and pack size. A Honda Civic hybrid battery runs about $1,400 for a rebuilt one. A Ford Escape hybrid sits between $2,400 and $3,600. The standard hybrid battery warranty covers 8 years or 100,000 miles, whichever comes first. Some newer Toyota models push that to 10 years and 150,000 miles, which is better. But here is the math that should worry every single buyer writing a check for a hybrid right now. The average American driver puts about 13,000 miles a year on their car. At that rate, you hit the 100,000-mile mark right around year 7 or 8. That is precisely the moment these batteries tend to start showing reduced capacity. And that is precisely the moment the warranty stops covering the problem. A family in the suburbs of Indianapolis learned this firsthand with their 2016 Prius. 89,000 miles on the odometer, battery warning light pops on about 6 months after the 8-year warranty expired, and the dealer quotes them $4,800 for a replacement pack. The trade-in value on that car at the time? $4,100. The repair bill was higher than the car was worth. That family did everything right. Dealer service records, every oil change on schedule, not a single skipped appointment. They were the exact customer Toyota designed that vehicle for. And the moment the warranty clock stopped, they were stuck holding a car that cost more to fix than to sell. And no, I am not making that up. It is happening across the country right now. Which brings us to the used hybrid market. And this is where the picture goes from frustrating to genuinely ugly. Picture a used car lot on the outskirts of Columbus, Ohio. Rows of 3-, 4-, and 5-year-old hybrids lined up next to their gas-powered equivalents. The gas cars move, the hybrids sit. And the reason is simple. Every person shopping for a used car in 2026 who has even a basic understanding of how hybrids work is asking the same question before they even look at the mileage. How much does it cost to replace the battery if it dies? And the moment the salesperson says somewhere between $3,000 and $8,000, the conversation is over. That used hybrid with the attractive monthly payment suddenly looks like a financial trap with a ticking clock. The Hyundai Sonata Hybrid has already lost close to half its value in 5 years, according to IC Cars data on over 950,000 vehicles. In the luxury segment, it gets even worse. A BMW 5 Series plug-in hybrid drops 64.7% of its value in that same window. The Volvo XC60 plug-in hybrid loses 57%. These were cars that stickered at $60,000, $70,000, even $80,000 new, and 5 years later, they are worth less than a loaded Civic. Used car buyers are practical people. They are not buying a story, they are buying a machine. And when the machine comes with a potential $5,000 surprise hiding under the floor, the smart ones walk to the next row and buy the gas version instead. The hybrid badge that used to signal savings is starting to signal risk. And once that reputation sticks, it is very hard to unstick. Think about it from the dealer's side for a second. A used car manager at a franchise lot in Michigan takes a 5-year-old hybrid as a trade-in. He knows the battery has maybe 3 to 5 good years left, maybe fewer in a cold climate where those packs take a beating every winter. He knows that if he puts it on the lot at a fair price, the first thing every buyer will Google is battery replacement cost. So he marks it down. And the next one gets marked down further. And suddenly, the resale floor on older hybrids is not being set by the car's condition or mileage. It is being set by the repair bill the next owner might get stuck with. That is not depreciation. That is a market pricing in fear.
But here is where it gets really messy. Because when you step back and look at the full picture, the pricing starts to look less like a market outcome and more like a boardroom decision. The average transaction price for a new vehicle in the United States hit $49,220 in May of 2026, according to Kelley Blue Book, up 1.2% from the year before. Forbes reported that roughly 1/3 of American families can no longer afford a new car at any price point. And in the middle of all this, with buyers stretched thinner than they have been in a generation, the automakers are not pulling back. They are accelerating. Toyota now offers hybrids in nearly every segment of its lineup, from the Corolla at the bottom all the way up to the Sequoia and Tundra at the top. They announced a $912 million investment in hybrid manufacturing right here in the United States. Cox Automotive counts 49 hybrid models available from 12 different brands in 2026, 7 more than just 3 years ago. Every single one of those models carries a premium over its gas-powered twin. And here is the example that tells you everything you need to know about where this strategy is really heading. The Toyota Grand Highlander Hybrid Max Platinum starts at $59,775. That is a hybrid SUV that gets 27 miles per gallon combined. 27. A regular V6 SUV from 10 years ago did that without a battery pack and an electric motor. At that price and that mileage, this is not a fuel economy vehicle. This is a luxury upcharge disguised as an environmental choice. Cox Automotive senior analyst Erin Keating flagged this directly when she pointed out that the 2026 RAV4 XSE Hybrid costs $2,200 more than a base Highlander, a vehicle that is an entire size class larger. She described the pricing across Toyota's hybrid range as, and this is her phrase, ridiculous amounts of variance. That is an industry insider telling you the price tag stopped making sense a long time ago. The manufacturers built it that way on purpose, and Toyota is not alone. Ford sold a record number of hybrids in 2025 and has been quietly raising the sticker on the Maverick Hybrid, the one affordable hybrid truck that regular working people actually wanted. Hyundai and Kia are rolling hybrids into everything they sell, while their average transaction prices climb year after year. 49 hybrid models from 12 brands, and not one of them launched at a price lower than the gas version it was supposed to improve. Every single one carried a premium. Every single one added margin. That is not a coincidence. That is a business plan. Honestly, I think the whole hybrid playbook was never about the environment and never about you. It was about finding a way to charge more for the same vehicle and making the buyer feel responsible for paying it.
And that is the question this whole story comes down to. Was the hybrid revolution ever built for the person signing the check? Because the evidence says it was built for the quarterly earnings call. Every gas model that gets killed from a lineup is one less option for the buyer who just wants a reliable car at a fair price. Every hybrid trim locked behind a premium package is another few $1,000s in margin flowing straight to the manufacturer, not to your fuel savings. Every break-even timeline that stretches past 6 or 7 years is a quiet admission that the value proposition was marketing, not math. The auto industry had a technology that genuinely could have made cars more affordable over their lifetime. And for about 5 minutes, early on, it looked like that might actually happen. The first Prius was priced to compete. The first Camry Hybrid was a few $100s more than the gas version. But once the market proved it would pay the premium, the industry stopped competing on value and started competing on markup. They made the cheap version disappear. They told you the expensive version was actually a favor. And for a while, that pitch worked. Buyers trusted the badge, trusted the mileage numbers, trusted the idea that spending more today would save them money tomorrow. But Americans are running the numbers now. They are seeing the repair bills show up at year 8. They are watching trade-in values on older hybrids sink below the cost of a battery replacement. They are comparing the payback timeline to the length of their car loan and realizing they will never break even before they trade the thing in. And they are talking to each other. In forums, in comment sections, at barbecues, and in parking lots after work. The word is getting out. The hybrid premium does not pay for itself. The gas version they used to be able to buy is gone. And the industry that spent 2 decades telling you the expensive option was the smart one is running out of people who believe it. Every month that goes by with $49,000 average transaction prices is another month where more buyers check out of the new car market entirely. Every family that gets handed a $5,000 battery quote on a car worth $4,000 is another family that warns their friends, their neighbors, and their kids to stay away from hybrids. And the auto industry that wagered everything on nobody checking the math is about to find out what happens when millions of customers finally pull out a calculator.
Toyota is set to reveal its full 2027 model year lineup and pricing this fall. If they raise hybrid floor prices again after killing every gas option, that will tell you everything about who the hybrid revolution was built for. Subscribe so you catch that breakdown before the window stickers go up.